I ran an action learning program in Belgium, and it has actually put the productivity of Belgium to the top of the world list. And at the end of the first program, they all called, they said, we're going to have a banquet in honor of Professor Revans. I said, well, I'll come to the banquet and bring my wife, but I'm not going to make a speech. And there were a lot of people there from all banks, insurance companies, department stores, steel works, non-ferrous metal refineries, oil refineries, all the lot. And I said to them, following up your question, I said, you've all been in this, you've all been learners, I haven't told you anything, you've worked together on each other's problems, but on the dining tables at which you're all sitting, in front of you is this great menu card with your name on it in marvelous handwriting. I want to take those cards away as my reward for having helped you in this way, or having learned a lot about myself about it. But what I want you to do is to write on the back of that card, what do you think is the most important question which you have learned to ask yourself? What have you discovered most about yourself by going through this experience? And I said, but before you write it down, please discuss it with your wife, who is sitting, that is your wife sitting next to you, yes? At least that's what we invited her as. So before you answer this question, discuss it with your wife, and then send it up to me. Oh, and by the way, what I want you to do is to write it in the language which you first spoke at your mother's knee, on your mother's knee, because in Belgium they speak 3 languages. 48% speak French, 46% speak Flemish, and the remainder speak German. And so we had them. I said, write it down in your own language. And as they sent the cards in, I wrote up on Butcher's paper what they'd written. And I said, I now want you to vote, all of you, vote for which of those questions do you wish you had asked? The questions about yourself. What do you think that question they all voted for said, we wish we'd put that question? It was this. What is an honest man, and what need I do to become one? Because if what you are doing is investigating a real pressing problem for which you yourself carry immediate personal responsibility, and you cannot push that off onto somebody else and say, well, it was his fault, or we didn't get the right advisors here, you carry the final can. What they realized was their need never to pretend to be somebody whom they were not. And if someone would like me to summarize what I think of university education, a lot of it is merely an apprenticeship to go around the world passing yourself off as somebody you are not. That's what you learn in universities. You become an MBA. And at one, I had to speak after the chairman of the stock exchange in Hong Kong had been arrested. They asked me to go out there, and at the end of my talk, somebody said, does MBA stand for Moral Bankruptcy Assured? So I'm not sure about that. I said, I don't know. It may not mean that in words, but it may be that in behavior, that's exactly what it does mean. But I think what action learning has done, if it's genuine action learning, is to make people aware that they must not pretend to be somebody they're not, and above all, not to pretend to be the expert they're claiming to be. That they say, well, yes, I may understand 90%, 95% of this, but there are things here I don't understand. And this is what you learn from action learning. Again, look, it won't take long. You will very soon discover that if what you're into is genuine action learning, you will very soon find that really there are ways in which you should be looking at what you're doing, which are not those to which you've grown up and become accustomed.